is Nicole. I am a PhD candidate studying in New South Wales in Australia. My PhD is in the fields of psychology and journalism. In this video, I hope to share my journey applying for a PhD. It has not been easy, it has been quite rough, but hopefully someone can relate. I thought it would be a good idea to document this process and this whole journey. Also, it might help someone out there who is interested in applying for a PhD in Australia as well. I know when I started trying to apply, it was quite hard to find information. So perhaps this might help someone who needs the information that I was looking for. Just a disclaimer, I do not know everything. I do not have the answers for everything. All I can share is things I have learned in my experience. The general process of applying for a PhD in Australia is 1, to find a supervisor or a supervisory team, and 2, to actually apply for the course. An important point to note is that this whole process differs with every country, with every institution, with every university, and even with different faculties. I actually covered the story of my journey applying for a PhD on my podcast as well as on my blog. You can find that if I link it somewhere. I realized while I was working on my master's thesis that I was incredibly passionate in that area of research, and I was doing more than I needed to for the thesis. And so I decided what better way than to sound this idea to some of my professors and see if it's a good idea to do a PhD research. Now, the first obstacle I had was the criticism that I was too young to do a PhD. I'm pretty sure there are some PhD researchers out there that can relate, because it is so frustrating having those comments. And yes, I also did my master's in Australia, in UTS, the University of Technology Sydney. I can talk about that whole journey in another video if you would like to see that. 2 weeks after I submitted my thesis, I went to see a researcher in the field I was interested in to ask if she would be interested to be my co-supervisor. So my initial plan was to have a supervisor from UTS and to bring in an external supervisor from a different university. However, I found out that UTS does not allow me to have an external advisor, which I don't understand why. But that was one of the first few obstacles. Plans started to crumble and things were more difficult. I actually thought I would be working instead of doing a PhD. I thought I would start my professional career somewhere in journalism or public relations. But my passion for my research area was just too much, and I had to pursue it. I intended to do my PhD in the same university, but because of issues and things like the university not accepting external advisors, just issues that discouraged my application. Just to give a brief overview of the timeline, I started looking for supervisors in November 2018, and my whole plan with my first supervisory team that I made fell through in midway through 2019. And in September or October 2019, I found my supervisor now. He is from the field of psychology and he has shown so much support for my research area and my passion. I officially started my PhD in the beginning of 2020. However, because of COVID and some admin issues, I got deferred to the second semester in 2020. So yes, it has been a very rough experience trying to apply for a PhD. It has not been easy at all. It is still not easy. I recently presented my proposal and defended it, and I think so far this feels like the most certain yes, as in I feel more secure now. With that said, I want to emphasize the importance of doing a PhD because you are interested and passionate, not just because you want the doctor title. I don't think that is a good reason enough. Try to be sure that you are interested enough. That interest will hold you for at least 3 years, because the whole PhD process is not easy. It will make you question why you're doing what you're doing, and it will take a long time. Especially if you're doing part-time, it's going to take double the time. So as long as you're passionate in what you're doing, then I don't see why not. The main things involved in applying for a PhD is to actually look for supervisors that can contribute to your progress in pursuing a PhD. You also have to be sure that you can click with your supervisory team and that you are able to communicate well. One thing I would advise is to not settle with supervisors. It is worth it finding a supervisor or supervisory team that supports you and encourages you, and if they do question you, it is to make you think critically and not put down your ideas or dismiss you. It is very important to find a supervisor that supports you. COVID has affected me in so many ways. Right now, I am in Malaysia, my home country. I do miss my partner, my things, my friends that are all in Australia. I hope I can go back soon. I also find it difficult to do my PhD away from campus, as a lot of resources I need are on campus. So hopefully I am able to return soon. If you would like me to share about how COVID has affected me, I could talk about that as well. It's nice to not feel alone when you're dealing with disappointing news and tough to digest news. If you have specific questions that I have not given answers to in this video, feel free to ask it down below. If I can, I will answer. Or if anyone else is doing a PhD as well and are able to help, feel free to answer questions down below. If I know the answer, I'll be sure to answer them. I will also link my podcast. I did a whole podcast on my PhD journey. Perhaps you might find that useful as well. That's all for this video. I'll come back soon with another one. Just let me know what you want to hear. Bye.